All right, this is my daily update for my build and public log. It's January 19th, 2025. All right, let's jump into it. I'm going to try a new format this next week where I jump into the technical, interesting stuff and give my update and then tell my random story of the day. I like to share a random story every day. When you sign up for AiChat email, you send an email to this email address. Okay. Now, this expires, so by the time you see this video, this unique ID and email address is gone. It's expired. It never comes back. So if you send an email to that address, nothing happens. It will ignore you. So I started looking into adding the first true integration into this. Not the first real integration I want to support is Zoom. So you go into integrations, it doesn't exist, so there's nothing to show. And you click Zoom, you log in, you sign in with Zoom, and you give AiChat email authorization to create meetings on your behalf. That's a real simple use case. So the last week I've been working on building an event scheduling AI agent. That is where it intelligently creates an event for you. And the idea is like it will look up your user information. It'll see that integration is set up and working. And then it will actually add the Zoom link in the meeting description. This is very standard. A lot of tools do this. No big deal. The Zoom part looks pretty easy, looks pretty straightforward. But when I started, so I've been working on the agent, which is a separate piece that's going to live in a separate repo that I pull into this project and use, okay? When I started looking into that integration piece on the AI chat email side, I started to think deeply about this, and I started thinking, yeah, okay. If I add one integration, this thing gets serious. This goes from prototype MVP app. Okay, the pricing is very, very low. Honestly, this would not be profitable if people started using it at this price point. So I'm trying to go from MVP to like actual real app service that's actually useful that people will start integrating with and actually make it be a serious tool. The idea is to build an AI virtual assistant. This is going to be rebranded soon. The whole landing page will be updated to reflect that. I might even change the URL, to be completely honest. Going from MVP prototype to real product that people will actually use, what is the number one priority for me? Privacy. Privacy is number one. You're entrusting me with quite a bit, and security goes along with privacy. So the security and privacy is my absolute number one priority. So I started thinking about if people can send an email here and create an actual event that's in people's calendars with a Zoom link, with real information, I gotta take a step back and get the security and privacy stuff locked down. So that's what I've been working on the last 2 days or last day and a half, taking a step back and going, okay, what are the known possible ways that this could be hacked or taken advantage of? And the main one is email spoofing. All right, so Cloudflare has a good article to give you kind of the 101 on email spoofing. So this is pretty decent overview for like a 101 crash course. When you send an email, you use a major email client, Outlook, Google, Gmail. They've been around for decades now. They've seen it all. They know all the little tricks and ways that hackers have uh, spoofed and done a lot of spam, dodgy stuff. They have a lot of tools built in that check and alert the user that say like, "Hey, warning! This is maybe you've seen it before. I have. I get a lot of phishing, dodgy ass emails all the time. So the good email clients, the ones that have been around for a while, the mainstream ones, they put a banner that says, "Hey, this looks suspicious," because they have a lot of these checks that see that as a spoofed email and will alert you, or it'll just go to your trash or your spam. I need to do a lot of this work for my service. I'm essentially the email client. Before I proceed and actually turn this into a real product that people will pay for and entrust me with their not all their emails, but sending some emails, sending some confidential information. So if I'm going to really have a service where there's integrations like create a Zoom meeting, create an invite, and then start inviting people and putting events on people's calendars with Zoom links, like actually for their organization or for their account. Yeah, I got to get the security buttoned up, and I got to do a lot more work to really batten down the hatches on this thing. And that's what I've been doing. Uh, there obviously hasn't been like a hack or anything. Like no one's really using the service, to be completely honest with you. Just beta testers mostly. So I just want to really get this thing buttoned down before I make that jump of like, there's integrations. This thing is actually like doing things on your behalf. This is a real like serious service. Use it, pay for it, because this is just an MVP, as I said. So that's what I've been working on. And it's been interesting because I'm going down the rabbit hole of, okay, how do I send a spoof email? Because remember, I got to test this thing, so I got to start sending really, really sophisticated spoofed emails. So that's been very fascinating to go down that rabbit hole and see how do I spoof, because I have to basically spoof myself, and I don't want to go just for low hanging fruit. I want to go like replicate and protect against very sophisticatedly spoofed emails. So very fascinating stuff. And this has led me to look at tools like this. Uh, it's pretty wild, the spoofing world. I mean, look at this. And this is really what I'm doing. Penetration tester to check whether an email server and client are vulnerable to spoofing attacks. So I'm going pretty deep. Yeah, look at this. This is scary shit. Like this can. I know somebody in real life who works at a business. They're like a medium-sized business. They're not like a big corporation. They're a mom and pop traditional medium-sized business, and they got hacked this way. They got phished hardcore. Somebody in the org got phished, probably using a technique exactly in this diagram. They got infiltrated. They did a ransomware attack on them where they locked up their data, their backups, and forced them to pay a lot of money. And they actually paid. Now, I can't say anything more than this. I shouldn't say anything more than this. Probably said too much as it is, but I'll keep it real vague like that. And this hurt this company very seriously financially, and their reputation. They were down completely and unable to work and do their core business for a couple of weeks. This is serious shit. So I take security very serious. I do my best. I'm really, really going to do my best for my product. And I am going to spoof the hell out of my own product. And make sure that it's protected against it, because I care. You know what I mean? I legit care. I'm not just trying to put some slop out there. A huge problem right now with all the MVPs and software being created with AI. There's all these tools and kind of, to be blunt, amateurs out there building a lot of agents and software and AI tools that don't know what they're doing, that don't even care, that just listen blindly to the AI MML, just spit out some slop and don't even take these things into consideration or really half-ass it. So for AI chat email, what's fascinating to me is the code, the backend code I have for a lot of this. The AI just cannot do it. It gets so confused. It tells me all this nonsense. So it makes me feel good. It's like there's still a need for engineers because the AI just gets so lost. It tells me such fake, hallucinated nonsense when I try to get help building this core code. So I spent a lot of time on this code, and I want to get it right, and I want it to be secure, and I want to get certifications eventually so businesses actually know this is a legit thing that is seriously set up for their privacy and security in mind. So that's the update for today. So you might be wondering, how the hell does this guy know so much about email? There's a lot I don't know. There's a lot I need to. There's a lot of shallow knowledge I have in my head. So I spend a good deal of time going deeper to like go from, I have a shallow understanding of that to I want to be like a deep, real expert in this stuff. This is a perfect example. This article, I'll put a link in the description. This is a perfect example. This is like shallow introduction to some of these things, how like authentication really works. Anyway, so my first job when I was in college still, I dropped out of college to work at this startup that I'm going to talk about. I was just some young kid. I was like 21 years old, and they threw me into the fire, and they were like, your job is to send I won't say the company, but it was a Fortune 100 US company. My job, they were like, here's millions of email addresses and like text files and all this crazy shit. Go send emails to millions of our customers. And my job was to manage all this user data and send to them. And I was just some young 21-year-old, 22-year-old kid. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I got a crash course, and I had to. It was insanity. It was all this manual stuff. This was back in the day. This was like mid 2000s or the late 2000s, and I did just figure this shit out. And I had to write emails by hand. Like it was insanity. Manage all this data, and I just started automating. I'm very lazy, so I just started automating. As much as I humanly possibly could with my limited skills. That's how I became a serious engineer. Was I just started writing all these tools and scripts and all these like commands I'd run in the terminal to help me sort through and do my job to manage millions of people's data. So I've been sending emails to people for almost 20 years. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. So that's how I know a lot about email and kind of some of the pitfalls. And I know the basics of like how do you spoof and do all these crazy things with email. But I'm not a spammer. I don't spam people. I'm very legit. I have a good sender reputation, like 99% for my newsletters. I don't know how to spoof people because I'm not a scammer spoofer. So anyways, I'm going to be going down that rabbit hole to figure out how to do that so I can guard against the very most sophisticated attacks. So very interesting stuff. I hope that was interesting to you. If you find that interesting, please leave a comment for the algorithm. It helps a lot. Just say email security, please. That helps a lot. All right, that's all I got for today. See you.